Mr. Flowmaster, what did you spot in Sweetgreens?
What I noticed was the first 6,000 lot of January 11 strike calls, a buyer paying 65 cents for those in a sweep. It was, as I've talked about it many times, these sweep orders are very cool because basically somebody uses the smart router to basically maximize the liquidity they can get. The Cboe Trade Alert uses some proprietary algos to put it back together. And when you get a nice round number, even though this one happened to be made up of about 24 legs, it just shows you exactly how the market's working. That's an opening call buyer. Stock was at 784 at the time. And that was this morning, just before 10 o'clock New York time. And I noticed it and I was like, you know what? This is a pretty solid directional trade. My general sense right now is like we could keep going higher and there's still going to be plenty of meme names that move double digits. However, my overall belief is that we're just a little bit overextended. And whether we're due for a true pullback or not, I don't need to be adding a lot of delta in. But that trade was actually followed by a few more 1,800 lot, October 8.5 calls. So those Januaries are pretty long dated considering. But then about an hour later, actually, we saw buyers the Octave half calls. Those actually traded for a quarter, 10 minutes after, and then up to 30 cents about an hour later. Overall, the volatility is up pretty significantly over the last 2 weeks or so. One other interesting note is that the open close data confirms that was a firm buyer, the first 6,000 lot. Firms are usually doing things on the back of customer trades. In this case, basically, if they had some customer buy something over the counter that was an upside play, they're allowed to go and basically lift the listed markets for that. That's what this feels like to me. I doubt it's a hedge for a short, because if you're going to hedge a short, you don't usually goose it with a big old sweep. I think somebody seems to be looking for a decent recovery for Sweetgreens. I don't think it's a terrible stock to own just because I think they're going to keep selling $20 salads because that's what salads cost. But it definitely stood out. And just to see the vol, I think the vol's up from 72 to about 115 in the last 2 weeks. And that's as the stocks just waffled around $8. That tells me something's going on. It's not that our earnings are around the corner or anything. Bullish flow, stock's pretty beat up. I mean, it certainly could keep going lower, but if you're looking for a beat up name in a kind of a fundamental business, I think it's an interesting one.